Men's Tiger basketball beat Wichita State this past Saturday with a blowout. Coach Hardaway's starting lineup: Jalen Duran, DeAndre Williams, Malcolm Dundridge, Lester Quinones, and Earl Timberlake. That was the star freshman Armani Bates out with a broken finger, and Alex Lomack out with an injured ankle. We'll see what Penny does tomorrow against Tulsa.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll keep the same lineup, but that was pretty big to start those 5 and have those 2 out.
I mean, it was a fun game.
Yeah. Football, rumor has it the University of Memphis has hired Ohio State secondary coach Matt Barnes to be their new defensive coordinator. Former coordinator Mike McIntyre left the Tigers after 2 years and was named head coach at FIU on December 9th.
Secondary coach. That's not obviously that he wasn't the defensive coordinator at Ohio State. He was like his assistant or second defensive coordinator.
Yeah. One removed. Once removed.
Once removed. And of course, Alabama and Georgia going for the national title 1 week from today. And expected, not really exciting. I just wish they wouldn't have 2 teams from the same conference going for the national title.
I would have to agree because I think it just leaves a lot of football fans out.
The whole lot of the country that don't care about Georgia and Alabama.
I'm sure everyone cares that Georgia beats Alabama, but they would have loved to see Cincinnati or Michigan or anyone out of the SEC.
Cincinnati. I knew that game wasn't going to go well for them. They just didn't have I just didn't think they had the personnel to go up against. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. You never know. You never know who's going to show up that day. You just don't know.
That's why we play the game.
That's why I'm taking Georgia over Alabama for the championship game.
What are you?
1 week from today. Well, I want Alabama to win. I think Alabama could win, but I don't think Georgia's going to let us beat them twice.
Yeah. They're just not going to put up with that. They're going to come to play.
Yeah.
They're going to come to play. After Georgia defeated Michigan, N'Kobe Dean from Horn Lake, Mississippi got a shout out on national TV.
A young man from Horn Lake, Mississippi. What's it going to be like to play for a national championship next week?
You know, it's a blessing. It's a blessing that I'm in this position. And I appreciate you giving the shout out to Horn Lake and Tony of Mississippi. Thank you.
Heck yeah.
And the smile on his face was just, it was so cute. Because he right when she said Horn Lake, Mississippi, his face just lit up like, oh, man, thanks. That's awesome.
Giving some love.
Cory got a haircut.
I did. I got a haircut. And the way I went about it, it took a while for the stars to align because I wanted my 79-year-old mother to teach my 14-year-old daughter to cut my hair because my mom cut my hair forever. And how it went down, oh, I'll tell you about that fiasco.
I also want everybody to go to our Facebook Live right now and look at it.
Check
and
out
tell them I was right, that it looks so much better. Short.
We'll talk about it in a minute. I let my hair grow out over the pandemic, and it got really long. I let my hair grow for 2 years, and it was pretty long. And I said, when Betty White dies, I'm gonna cut my hair.
Oh man.
That's not true. But what is true is that I figured, okay, my mom cut my hair most of my life, and I like the hairstyle. I use that in air quotes that she always cut it in. Of course, she only knew one. And
Did you put a bowl on top of your head?
you're the third person to give me that joke.
I love being original. Great.
And so I thought, okay, I mean, my daughter's expressed interest in going to cosmetology school after high school.
Okay.
So I thought, okay, here's a great opportunity. My mom knows how to cut hair. My daughter wants to. When I can get them together for my mom to walk her through it, I will just bite the bullet and let my 14-year-old daughter cut my hair. Finally, yesterday, the planets aligned. They were both home. They were both in a good mood. And I was like, hey, y'all want to do that thing now? And they were both like, yeah, sure. And I was like, yes, here we go. We're the grandmother is passing down knowledge to the granddaughter, just like it should be.
Okay.
And so I sat down in this chair and what pushed me over the edge, I haven't told you this, is that my wife got me a home haircut set for Christmas. Yes.
So she wanted you to cut it.
Yeah, she was, that's the hint I got. That's the hint I got. It was that I needed a haircut. So
I mean, it's as bad as a woman getting a vacuum for Christmas. That's hysterical. Good for you, Margo.
I mean, you asked me what made me want to get it cut, and I told you this and I told you that. Ultimately, it was the Christmas Day home haircut set. When I opened it, everybody busted out laughing. So I knew a haircut was on the horizon. So yesterday, I sit in the chair, and my mother, God bless her soul, she got as much patience as nobody. I mean, she's got no patience whatsoever. And my daughter, who had been kind of trimming the underside of it when it was long, keeping it kind of neat, she thought she knew everything there was to know about cutting hair.
Well, because she's 14.
Right.
Yeah.
And so as we got started, it didn't take long at all for my mother to start yelling at her. No, Avery, you're not listening to me. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, here we go. And Avery, fine, you just do it. I don't have to do that. I'm like, no. Nobody's getting mad. Nobody's walking away from this.
Halfway through it.
You are not leaving me like this. Both of you will finish it, and you will finish it together. I don't care. So then everybody gets back on track, and it happens again, man. It happened 3 times. They started yelling at each other with a 14-year-old with scissors in her hand. And I got to be honest with you, it was probably the most stressful 45 minutes I have had.
45 minutes?
It took 45 minutes for them to cut my hair.
Lord.
Maybe a little more than that. And it was stressful. I mean, and then my wife would walk by and give me these big eyes.
Like they're just screwing it up.
And I can't see anything. I'm like, oh no, what am I doing?
All right, so your hair was down to your shoulders. Did they take like an inch off at a time?
At first, it was just hack and slash, man.
Right.
There was hair going everywhere. I didn't know what they were doing. And then my mom said, well, we got the length off. And I was like, how much? And I started feeling my head. And I'm like, oh, that feels like a lot. I'm not going into the Marines, you know. I don't need it all high and tight. I just want it to look neat.
It looks good.
Kind of professional. And then, Avery shut up. My mom buckled down. And the hardest thing was my mom to give up control of the scissors. Because she'd been doing it. She'd done my dad's hair, both my brother's hair, my hair, my nephew's. She's cut the men's hair for years and years. So it was hard for her to give up control.
Well, it's like anything else, though. When you're trying to show somebody, and you're like, just let me do it.
Yeah.
When somebody's like untying something and your hands start doing it with them.
Yeah.
Just give me the knot. Let me do it.
And you know how you were just shaking your hands? That's what my mom's hand looked like with scissors in her hand. Which is why I wanted Avery to have the scissors. I mean, she's almost 80 years old. She, not as steady as she once was.
Well, Rob wants to know on our Facebook Live, new year, new hairstyle, a tat or piercing to follow?
I was thinking about that. And I think the tattoos that would look good with this hairstyle is the tattoos I've got right now. None at all.
Right. If there's anybody getting tattoos and piercing, it's your 14-year-old, not you.
Oh, she better not. Oh, there'll be some hell to pay there. But I got out of it without getting cut and with a decent haircut. So I'm pretty happy
and
with it.
JR says, well, you don't look like a camp counselor anymore.
Thanks, JR. We appreciate you.
My poor kids, they want electronics and their parents don't know how to use them. I mean,
story of the world, I'm afraid.
epic failure. Epic failure.
So what'd you get?
Thing 2 got a Nintendo Sidekick. Is that what Nintendo Switch? Nintendo Switch. And what happened to like just getting a box and a cartridge of a game and sticking it in there and pressing start?
Progress.
For who?
The company that made the said video game device.
Everything's online.
Yep.
First of all, when you get something and you order it online, make sure you don't get the European one because that won't plug in the wall.
No. Wow.
Couldn't believe it when we opened it. I was like, what do you do with this thing? And the carpenter's like, go to Europe. I don't know. That was problem number 1.
All right.
Can't charge the thing. And so now there's an adapter on that. Okay, so we got that figured out after a couple days. Then you have to order all the games online.
Yep.
And you have to have an account. And none of it works.
Yep.
None of it. There's a dome over our house that's like, it's like a barrier that won't allow any passwords or anything electronic to work. It's like, no, ha, 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 ha. No, that's the wrong password. No, you're going to have verification on that.
3-step verification.
Yes. So we took that off.
Yeah.
Y'all just order whatever the hell you want. We'll get the bill later. Because at this point, I'm not verifying anything.
Oh.
No, we have it where you can get anything you want free.
Oh, I love that.
But if you buy something, we have to verify it because the verification, no, don't even.
Yeah, the free stuff, go right ahead. Knock yourself out. And Nintendo does a good job of policing that.
Well, I was nervous about getting the refurbished iPad for the other one. Those are like cheap.
Yeah, they are. They're pretty affordable.
I was like,
Did you get it from Apple or from like Amazon or?
This was all the carpenter. I have no idea. Stay way away from this stuff.
Okay.
Because I'll get the wrong one, no matter even if it's the right one. Learned that. So, I mean, I'm over there giggling about the damn European outlet thing, whatever it is, plug. Okay, so then that comes, and the refurbish is fine. We need another account, and we need a password, and then the verification code.
Can you use your Apple account that you use on like your iPhone? I guess you're wanting to make the account for her, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And then you can't be 13 on TikTok. You know she's gotten kicked off TikTok like 6 times.
Yeah.
So now we've just said she's 18 and get over it. Okay. We don't care. She's got a OnlyFans page too at this point. Make your own money. I mean, but my poor kids sat there for a week with like their big Christmas gifts, couldn't play them, couldn't get on them. We're throwing them like across the room like, mother.
like Tom Brady on a football sideline throwing a laptop.
So it was an epic failure for Christmas. Don't get electronics at our house. I mean, the VCR is still blinking 12.
That's hysterical. You got the European Switch. Was it like in Danish or something?
I don't know.
You didn't even touch it.
We couldn't even plug it in the wall.
You were like, go ask your father.
I couldn't believe it when he was like, he pulled the plug out and he's like, are you kidding me?
That's the best ever. I'm sorry. I love that. A European plug.
Well, if you don't think it get any worse, I got Apple AirPods.
Uh-huh.
And I decided to finally charge them up and use them on Saturday. Opened up the box and they weren't in there.
They weren't in there.
Then I realized there was no cellophane around the box. Yeah, they got ripped off somewhere in the mail on the way to, because at Christmas, I just opened them up and knew what they were. I was like, oh, thanks.
Heck
and set it down. Yeah, so we got.
Man, you got stiffed on Christmas.
We did, yeah.
You got stiffed on Christmas.
Someone stole the AirPods out of the mail.
Wow. I mean, opened the box, just took what's in the box and left it.
And stuck it back in.
And did that when they came in the mail? Did they just come in there? Were they in an extra? Were they just in the AirPods box, or were they in a package?
They were in an AirPods box, I guess. They were my gift.
I mean,
so my husband,
you don't know.
Yeah, and so my husband just picked up the empty box, and he was like, "You wouldn't be able to tell. It's about the same weight because they put all that other packaging in there."
Yeah. Wow, you straight got stiffed on Christmas.
I mean,
Okay,
What did I do so wrong?
July 20. Maybe you should have been a better girl this year.
I think so.
Coming up in just a few minutes, we'll got another senseless survey. We'll call somebody at random, see if we can get whoever answers the phone to stay on the phone for some ridiculous survey questions.